Pahlavi texts, translated by E.W. West, Part 1, Endnotes. We're still in the Bundahis, as far as what we're commenting on. Sacred Books of the East, Volume 5, Oxford University Press. The countries of Tur, Salm, Sani, and Da'i are all mentioned successively in Fervardin Yast, 143, 144, in their Avestiforms, Tu Iria, Sa Irima, Sa Ine, Dahe. The country of Tur was part of the present Turkestan. That of Salm is rightly identified with Arum, the Eastern Roman Empire, or Asia Minor, in the text. The country of Seni, miswritten Send, being identified with Kinistan, was probably the territory of Samarkand, and may perhaps be connected with Mount Kino, see chapter 12, 2 and 13, and the land of Da'i must be sought somewhere in the same neighborhood. Chapter 15, verse 29 mentions Sind, Bactria, or any parts of northwestern India may be intended. Wherever Brahmins and Buddhists existed, as they did in Bactria, was considered part of India in Sasanian times. And 10 varieties of man grown on separate trees, see verse 5. Only 7 varieties of human monsters are here enumerated. Page 60 for the last 3 details seems to refer to one variety, the monkeys. The Parsi manuscripts of the miscellaneous texts, M7, says the names of the 10 species of men are the breast-eyed, the 3-eyed, the breast-eared, the elephant-eared, the one-legged, the web-footed, the leopard-headed, the lion-headed, the camel-headed, and the dog-headed. And all the seed of the females, which issues beforehand, verse 5 of chapter 16. M6 has always, as regards the fish. K20 has the male fish, which is inconsistent with the preceding sentence. And these Avesta names, the 5 Berezi Savang of chapter 17, of the 5 kinds of fire, are enumerated in Yast 17, verse 63 to 67, and the Pahlavi translation of the passage interchanges the attributes ascribed to the first and fifth in the text. Thus it calls the first the fire of sublime benefit in connection with Bahram. See also the selections of Zadsparam, 11.1. The fire of the good diffuser or offerer, that within the bodies of men, Yasna 17, verse 64. Vahu for Yan, the Razist, is the fire of the prosperous or abundant life, that within plants. See Pahlavi Yasna 1765. The fire Vazist, and that which smites the demon Spengarga. Pahlavi Yasna 1766. The propitious fire is the Spenist, which stands in heaven before Auharmazd in a special state. Pahlavi Yast 1767. The bottom fire are sacred fire at places of worship, Vahram, and other things which Uharmaz created. M6 has min instead of moon, which alters the translation, but not the meaning. This appears to be a different account of the fire Bereze Sabang, that given in verse 1, but it merely implies that it is the fire in its spiritual state, and the name can, therefore, be applied to any natural fire which can be attributed to supernatural agency, such as burning sprigs of petroleum, volcanic eruptions, ignis fatuus, phosphorescence of the sea, and so on. Takmorup is the second Pesdadean monarch. See chapter 31, 2 and 3, 34, 4. Sarsaak, written Srisaak in the manuscript in chapter 1527, where it also appears that the sea was the wide-formed ocean. See likewise chapter 1913. Compare staft with the Persian sitaftan, to hasten. The third Pesdadian monarch is Yim. And the fire Frobak, also written Frobo, Froba, Frobak, or Frobog. Kvarizem, the Avestan Hava Eruzem of Mihyast 14, a province east of the Caspian. From the hand of Dahak in verse 5, it is doubtful whether Va Godman and the glory are Nismo, the sole reasoner. See chapter 23:1 and 24:4 should be read. And it may even be that the fire for Robak saves the soul of Yim, and for Dahak, see chapter 31:6 and 34:5. Upon revelation from the religion, or I upon declaration from the religion, upon the revelation. The reign of Ka'i Khusrob, here written Ka'i Khusrobi, in the manner aforesaid. In verse 3, the three breathing souls of spiritual fire are supposed to be incorporated in its three earthly representatives, the fires Frobak, Gusasp, and Burzin Mitro, respectively. The lake Kikast, that is the province around the lake, see chapter 32:2, and Asnavand Mountain, see chapter 12:26. Compare selections of Zadsparam 6:22, and then ever assisted, verse 8, take Bagid as the equivalent to the Persian Guzid, but it may be equivalent to the Persian Vazid, grew, shot up. The glorified Zarathustra, the epithet Anoshak Ruban, the Persian Noshiravan, means literally immortal soul. The religion of God, or of the angels, which the plural form is often used to express God. That sort of thinking would allow a lot of understanding of that. And see chapter 12, 18, and 34 for the ridge of Vistasp. And the tree called Gokard. a tree called Gokard in chapter 18, a corruption of Avestan Gao-Kirena, Avendadon 2017, Auhramazd Yas 30, Haptanyast 3, Rose 7. In the old manuscript of the Bundahis, the form Gokard occurs thrice, Gokarn once, and Gogrov once. And it's not terribly important to note for the beat mud being 333, but reading Gil, mud, Windichmen and Justi prefer Gar, mountain, and have the depth of the mountain. If the writer of the Bundahis applies the term the Zog to a lizard rather than a frog, appears from the log-like lizard's body of chapter 3:9. And so that it may injure the home. That is the Gokard tree, which is the white home. See chapter 27:4. The Avesta Karo Masio Avendadan 1940, Bahramias 29, Genias 7, see also chapter 24:13, the carfish. And the fish are spiritually fed. See chapter 14:26 and 24:13. Voss of Panka Sadvaran, the Avestan Vossinium Pankasadvaram of Yasna 41:27. Goes serpent-like, transcribing the Zan Maradu into Pahlavi. We have Mar, again, the snake's manner, comparing the text with the Bahramias 29, and it does not itself move. The sun goes down. K20 omits the word walk to move. Walk. All hearing, this is the tree of the Sa'ena, or Simurch, as described in Rasnuyast 17, and these three epithets are translations of its three titles, Hubis, Eretrobis, and Vispopis. See chapter 27, verse 2 and 3, and verse 10 of 18. Between, this must have been the original meaning of whose Ben in the Sasanian inscriptions, before it was used as a synonym for Paz, the Pazund Andar within. The mountain is between the white home tree and the tree of many seeds. And these trees of such kinds, transcribing the Pazund Oino into Pahlavi, we have Ungunak, that kind, or the word may be a miswriting of the Pazund Ano there. 7 regions from there, verse 11. This description of the mountain seems to identify it with the Usindom mountain of chapters 12:6 and 13:5. The three-legged donkey, chapter 19, okay. The Avestan Kara, which is righteous and which stands in the middle of the wide-shored ocean, 41:28. Dermasteter in his Ormazd et Ahraman, page 148, 151, considers this mythological monster as a meteorological myth, a personification of clouds and storm, and no doubt a vivid imagination may trace a striking semblance between some of the monster's attributes and certain fanciful ideas regarding the phenomena of nature. The difficulty is to account for the remaining attributes, and to be sure that these fanciful ideas were really held by Mazdiastians of old. Another plausible view is to consider such mythological beings as foreign gods tolerated by the priesthood from political motives as objects worthy of reverence. even as the goddess Anahita was tolerated in the form of the angel of water. Well, a lot of the light beings, you could say, would have been worshipped, and tolerating respectful mention of them kind of lifts them from its previous thing, right? And there are mythological beings that are objectively real, but, you know, they're kind of weird when you compare the descriptions to what exists in this world, right? 6 mouths, 9 ears, 1 horn. Okay. This is the traditional... Oh, the mouths. 9. This is the traditional meaning of the word, which ought probably to be read Yong, and to be traced to the Avestan Iang, Yasna 28, 2. In the manuscript, the word is marked as if it were pronounced Gund, which means a testicle. And the hump is probably supposed to be over the shoulder, as in the Indian ox, and not like that of a camel. Mount Alvand, near Hamadan, rising 11,000 feet above the sea, or 6,000 above Hamadan. It may be one of the Avestan Urvanto of Zamyadyas 3. The Bazan manuscript reads Hunavand, and each pastern is so great. Literally the small of the foot, Kurdak-e Ragoman. They mean the arch, right? And 1,000 branch horns, or 1,000 cavities. Srubo, the Persian Surub cavern, have grown in it. And some befitting a camel. Reading Ziyak, comparing the Persian Zi-Idan to suit, befit, and Ganavad is a mountain. See chapter 12, 29, and 34. And T-Star seizes the water. See chapter 7, 11. The ox, Hadeos, written Hadeyavs in the manuscript in chapter 30, 25. Hadeyavs. And Hadeyas in Darastana Dinik, part 2, reply 89. It is a Pazand reading in all 3 places. Sarsa Oak, see chapter 1527 and 17:4. At the end of his years, transcribing the Paz Svadya into Pahlavi, we have Snati, term of years. The whole sentence is very obscure. It is said the life is in the hand of the foremost man at the end of his years. Well, in a way, your lifespan it's at least partially into your control. It doesn't mean you're euthanizing yourself or something, but the bird Camros, written Camros in chapter 24, 29. It is the Avestan Camraus, the genitive of Kamru of Fravardin Yost, 109. See also chapter 17.3. Non-Iranian districts for booty, beard, are, to assembly. Angel Berg, the Avestan Beregia of Yast 121, 227, 335, a spirit cooperating with Ushahinaga, who causes the increase of herds and corn. So this relates to the dawn, right? Well, the dew at dawn allows the moisture for the grass and things to be growing, and some things don't have to drink when they have the low country of Lake Arag, or the district of Arag. See the note on chapter 12:23. Although no Lake Arag is described in chapter 22, some of its epithets referring to its Avesta equivalent, Ranga, are more applicable to a lake than to a river, as in Bahramyas 29. Possibly the lowlands between the Caspian and Aral, or on the shores of the Caspian, are meant. Now, in the ancient Egyptian tradition, one of the things that we see is this mythologization of, the sources of the Nile. Not just of their culture, which they got that in there too, but regarding Karsipt, the Avestan Vis Karsipta of Vendadan 239, where, however, Vis does not mean bird, and the Pahlavi translator calls it a quadruped. In the Pahlavi Visparad 1:1, the Karsipt is the chief of flying creatures, and the Bundahis also takes it as a bird. See chapter 14:23 and 24:11. The griffin bird, chapter 4:11, 23, 24, 24, 11, 29. The bird Ashozust, the Avestan Ashozusta of Vendadad 17, 26, and 28. That is the bird Zabara. Compare the Persian Zula, a sparrow or lark. The bird Sok. Compare the Persian Sak, a magpie. And an incomplete quotation from 21. Other beasts and birds, all in opposition to the noxious creatures and the wizards and so on. And then we talk about the precious birds. The Pahlavi word is ambiguous, but it may be read zeal, cheap, common, or it may be zagar, yakar, dear, precious, but the latter seems more probable, even though the crow is perhaps as common as it is precious, as a scavenger in the East. Singularly enough, the Persian arzan is a synonym to both words, as it means both cheap and worthy. Kaharkas, the Avestan Kaharkasa of Vendadan 366, 981. Abanyast 61, Miharyast 129. Its epithet, Zarman Manissen, dwelling in decay, is evidently intended as a translation of the Avestan Zerenu Ma'inis, applied to it in Bahramyas 33, Dimyast 13. The text should probably be Valak, Siak Va Sar Igar, the black crow, and the mountain kite, which are given as different birds in Shayas Lashayas 2:5. The musk animal created in opposition to ravenous intestinal worms. K20 omits the words from this opposition to the next one. That carries off the grain. The Mor'e Danakash is the Avestan Ma'oiris the No Carso of Vendidad 1414, 1628, 1846. Produces a hollow track. Compare Surak with the Persian Surag in preference to Surak or Sulak, a whole. And Srosh, comparing Surak with the Persian Surag in preference to Surak or Sulak, a whole. Cooperating with Srosh. Hold on. The Avestan Sraosha, the angel who is said specially to protect the world from demons at night. He is usually styled the righteous, and is the special opponent of the demon Eshem, Wrath. See chapter 30:29. And Pasus Ha'urva. These are the Avestan names of those two kinds of dog. See chapter 14:19. This Ha'urva, or it may be thus, for it says thus, wherewith will it destroy? When it barks, it will destroy the assembly gird of all the disobedient, and it barks, it will destroy pain. This is the most obvious meaning, but Spiegel, in a note to Windichman's Zoroastrianism Studien, page 95, translates both this sentence and the next very differently, so as to harmonize with Vendidad 1378 and 99, and literally translate, rather than doing such to harmonize, you could say. Because we're obviously talking about a scripture that wasn't exactly preserved, or it was composed, so there's no issue with that. And it's flesh and fat, remedies for driving away the decay and pain from men. The 5 dispositions, keen of priest, are thus detailed in an old Pahlavi manuscript. First, innocence. Second, discreetness of thoughts, words, and deeds. Third, holding the priestly office as that of a very wise and very true speaking master, who has learned religion attentively and teaches it truly. Fourth, celebrating the worship of God, Yazdan, with the ritual mirang of rightly spoken words and scriptures known by heart. Narm Naskiha. Fifth, remaining day and night, perpetually in his vocation, struggling with his own resistance. Hemistar, and all life long, not turning away from steadfastness in religion, being energetic in his vocation. And the 5 dispositions, Kuk, a priest, are thus detailed in the old manuscript. Oh, it's the same note twice, isn't it? Not turning away from his vocation. Okay. More to continue.